Good morning, devotees. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 25, verse number 36. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Praya Svabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Dishyagato si bhadramte gramyam kamam abhipsase advahichyami tam steham Savandubhi Rarindama. Synonyms: Dishtya. Fortunately for me, Agata Asi, you have come here. Bhadram, all auspiciousness. Te, unto you. Gramyan, sensual. Come on, desired, enjoyable objects. Abhipsase, you want to enjoy. Udvahishyami, I shall supply. Tan, all of them. Te, unto you. Aham, sorry. I, Swabandhubi, with all my friends. Arim Dama, O killer of the enemy. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O killer of the enemy, you have somehow or other come here. This is certainly great fortune for me. I wish all auspicious things for you. You have a great desire to satisfy your senses, and all my friends and I shall try our best in all respects to fulfill your desires. Purport. The living entity comes down into this material world for sense gratification, and his intelligence, represented by the woman, gives him the proper direction by which he can satisfy his senses to their best capacity. In actuality, however, intelligence comes from the Supersoul, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he gives full facility to the living entity who has come down to this material world. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2:41, Yavasayatmika Bhudir Ikehakurunandana Bahushuka Hyanantascha Buddhayo Yavasayinam. Those who are on the spiritual path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. When a devotee is advancing towards spiritual realization, his only aim is the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not care for any other material or spiritual activity. King Puranjana represents the ordinary living entity, and the woman represents the ordinary living entity's intelligence. Combined, the living entity enjoys his material senses, and the intelligence supplies all paraphernalia for his enjoyment. As soon as he enters the human form, the living entity is entrapped by a family, a tradition, nationality, customs, etc. These are all supplied by the Maya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the living entity, under the bodily conception of life, utilizes his intelligence to his best capacity in order to satisfy his senses. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurumidikam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karuti Vachalam Pangum Nagayati Girim Yat Kripatam Hamande Shivunundina Taranam Paramananda Maravam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Vachapatitanam Pavanivyo Vaishnavivyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Galadhara Shivasni Gora Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. Things haven't changed much. The verse again, O killer of the enemy, you have somehow or other come here. This is certainly great fortune for me. I wish all auspicious things for you. You have a great desire to satisfy your senses, and all my friends and I shall try our best in all respects to fulfill your desires. This is a problem with intelligence. Intelligence is above the mind, so we have trouble controlling the mind. The mind can be controlled by intelligence, but if the intelligence is ordinary or materially afflicted, the intelligence doesn't know what to do. The intelligence will actually become a supplier, a provider of information for the mind and the senses to enjoy. And this is exactly like being in quicksand. So in quicksand, the more you move, the more you sink. So this is the material world is exactly like that. The more you move, the more you try to solve problems in a material way, the more you get entangled in the material world. There is no escape. That's why our process is descended and not ascended. For example, Plato, who was a great philosopher, and he figured out, just Plato actually is the one who brought the philosophy of Socrates to notoriety, to the light. Prabhupada said that Socrates was Brahman realized, and he was a humble man who recognized his ignorance at the end of his life. He understood that he wasn't the body, so he wasn't upset when these the government of Athens asked him to take poison. He and Plato, they both suffer from the same thing: the limitations of one's mind and intelligence, and the lack of parampara. So these two are related. One can go to a certain distance, extrapolating and trying to understand how the machine of the material world works. But without help from above, it's very difficult. It's literally impossible to transcend. So we're lucky that we have a parampara. And our parampara is not based on rituals and folklore and mythology and legends and superstition. And there are others that are actually. This, well, it's not even parampara, it's mostly broken. I think I'm making one of the cows uncomfortable. Okay, well, okay. So this is the fortune, the great fortune that we have. Intelligence is appreciated only in spiritual intelligence, only by those who are actually pursuing the same ideal. Like, for example, my Guru Maharaj was preaching to an audience of Christians. And of course, they chose to present their dogma and to try to debate with very little success. And they concluded, vocally, they told him that, yes, they couldn't defeat him, and that his arguments were so good because they were provided by the devil. So this is the way you get rid of a debate very quickly. You dissolve it by saying something like that. Here in this case, Puranjana, the living entity, is infatuated by a beautiful woman who is representing the intelligence. So the intelligence can give really bad advice. Prabhupada said the intelligence and the super soul, and he made this gesture, like this, right next to each other. So the intelligence can actually, by spiritual intelligence, one can achieve the darshan and the advice of a super soul. But it can go the other way. If the intelligence associates with the mind and listens to the mind, then we go in the opposite direction. We go down with the gray down cells. So the mind that is not under control can drive the living entity to make very poor decisions. And this is all due to Kali Yuga, perhaps. Let's blame the age. Why not? Let's not blame ourselves. There are things that actually we cannot blame the age for. This age of Kali, yes, this Kalo Sudra Sambhava, everybody's a Sudra. In this age, everything is quarrel, people fight for no reason. There is no stability. And it is very difficult to take shelter of anyone because you can't trust people with faulty senses and looking for their own sense gratification, and intelligence is polluted. Even, I dare say, among devotees, even when you make some advancement, you have to fight your intelligence. Because intelligence will look for things that are much more refined. The mind and the senses, they go for the gross stuff. But intelligence wants a little more refined stuff. So, for example, we want recognition. And how harmful could that be? Getting recognition. Oh, I'm a great this, I'm a great that, I'm a great cook, I'm a great musician, I'm a great speaker, I'm a great this or that. I'm speaking by example, as you can hear. My intelligence makes me believe all these things. I'm a great this, I'm not a great anything. But these are subtle forms of sex or sensual enjoyment, sense gratification, praise. Oh my God, who wouldn't go for it? When you hear praise of yourself, you try to take the humble position. No, no, Prabhu. No, I'm very fallen. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, yeah, finally someone gets me. I am this and I'm more. Just wait. So these are the traps, the subtle trappings of the intelligence, and makes you believe something that you don't deserve. You're not great at anything. This intelligence, Prabhupada says, come from the super soul, not from the accomplishments that you think you have, or all the mental exercises that you can bewilder people by speaking in a certain way, using difficult to understand terms. As this is so typical of academia, that they use words and no one can understand, and doctors that they think they know more than you because they know the name of certain parts of the body or the name of certain diseases, or they know Latin. But this is all illusion, phantasmagoria. It goes with the body. Your body's gone, all this knowledge is going to be gone. So what do we have? What do we have? Because we came to the material world to enjoy. And Krishna gives all facility. Yeah. Prabhupada quotes a verse here from the Gita, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Kehakurunanna. Those who are resolute means determined. Their aim is one. Their aim is to satisfy Krishna's senses, to satisfy Krishna by all means. And those who are irresolute, the intelligence of those who are irresolute, not determined, they can make a resolution. Like every new year, many people make, okay, this, I'm going to cut down from a pack of cigarettes to half a pack. But it's difficult to maintain, and I don't have any reason besides my health, and it's all bodily related. So those who are irresolute, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. It goes in many different directions. It's hard to concentrate. It's like, how much can you multitask with intelligence? You should be resolute, have one aim, and then you can accomplish a lot more. Exactly like going to school. Let's say you go to elementary school and you just quit after elementary school, so you can get certain jobs. Then you go to high school, and then the job market opens up because you have also a high school diploma. And then you become what apparently looks more narrow. You go to college, and you can get any of the jobs that people from, they have elementary school and high school diplomas can have, plus more. And then you specialize. You get a PhD. You get a PhD in some, who knows what, some insignificant thing, studying the mating habits of beetles in Madagascar. How about that for a specialty? And it seems like you really went off the deep end and you specialize in something that nobody really cares about and nobody needs to know about. But somehow or other, with that degree, you can get all the jobs that all college students, high school students, and elementary school students can have, plus more. So this is by narrowing your path, actually you expand your horizon. There's an example how the one, not many branch intelligence, the intelligence that is concentrated upon Krishna to understand everything about Krishna. Because the purpose of it all is to love Krishna, to fall in love with Krishna, to re-fall in love with Krishna. We were in love with Krishna at that point, and we lost it by a poor decision of our intelligence. So we have to regain this spiritual intelligence to understand that, yeah, we already checked all the boxes and we looked everywhere, we tried everything. It didn't work. It didn't work. We have to get back to our roots. And Krishna is the root of our existence. Now, Puranjana, of course, Puranjana is an imaginary king, and this woman is as imaginary as the king is, representing his intelligence. So when King Puranjana is offered all these variety of things, King Puranjana, Prabhupada said, represents the ordinary living entity, and the woman represents the ordinary living entity's intelligence. Combined, the living entity enjoys his material senses, and intelligence supplies all paraphernalia for his enjoyment. So I do remember, I recall very well, before I started the path of bhakti, how I will squeeze every ounce, exercise my intelligence so hard to be able to enjoy the material world by any possible means. Any possible means. So I really struggle. I really struggle. I read so many books, I met so many people, I've done so many things, and I was never satisfied. You can't be. You don't belong here. You can never be satisfied. It's the same thing as taking a fish out of water and offering him, I'm going to lease you this Bentley. You can drive it anywhere, you can go anywhere you want. And then we're going to go to Tiffany's, the jewelry store in Philadelphia, or New York, and buy a Rolex President with diamonds in it. And then we're going to go to a restaurant, well, I guess, Divia's Cuisine in New York. And yeah, and then I'm going to take you to the donut factory. And then this is all very bewildering. I think the fish won't be interested in even the first offer, because he just wants to be in the water. No donuts, no Rolex, no Bentley. Yeah, no dinner, no movie, nothing. It wants water. So we're the same way. Of course, if someone offers us the same array of gifts, we will be very happy. We'll be considering, oh yeah, Bentley, I can drive anywhere, and a Rolex that I can flaunt to my friends who can barely afford Timex, and a dinner at that expensive vegan restaurant, and donuts. Oh my God, today is my day. I'm finally being recognized by Providence. But we're like the fish. It just takes us a lot longer to realize that all we need is to go back to our environment, which is the spiritual world. So this is the problem of being in the material world that we will never be satisfied. I'm sorry if I'm ruining someone's day today, but that's the main problem, that we don't belong here. This is not our world. Yeah, it's like you can go visit someone and hang out, spend a weekend at their house, and it's all fun. But eventually, you want to go home. You like your room, even if your room is a mess. If you don't fold your clothes and everything is everywhere, and you don't let anybody in to see how messy you are. Still, you like your room better, and you like living somewhere else. Even if you go to a bed and breakfast and it's beautiful and everything is pristine and clean, and someone comes and takes care of it, you still want to go to your room. So this is our plight, the living entity. We try so many things. And now we have a human body. The human body has problems. Being a human body has problems. The problems, like we actually have the sense of ethic and morality, which is all goodness, such an impediment to enjoy the senses. Yes. Whereas animals don't have that problem. There's no incest in the animal world. No, you can have sex with anybody, whether it be related to you or not. And you don't need to go to a room. You can have it in the open, in front of everybody. You can eat any trash you want. Look at dogs. When we live in Santa Barbara, for years, there was a store in the main street, super expensive, probably $10,000 or $15,000 a month for rent. And they had a dog bakery. A dog bakery. I don't get it. Anyway, and it was always packed. They did very good business, baking organic biscuits and things for dogs. Now, if you allow a dog, they will drink and eat out of a toilet bowl. Yes, that's correct. They don't care. They don't have any discrimination. So that's the advantage of being an animal in the material world. You have no sense of discrimination. You have no sense of property. Nothing really, nothing belongs to you. You have no sense of morality and ethics, decency, decor. This is language. You can just bark all night. You don't need to form sentences. You don't need to impress anybody. What a life. Yeah, so people are actually acting like animals. They're just steps away from getting a body like an animal because they don't need a human body. Human body is meant for self-realization. So those who are in the human form of life, and they don't practice self-realization, they're not to be considered humans. It's all over the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says it quite often, actually. Yes, those who are, they've been given this boon to understand, to have abstract thoughts and understand philosophy and understand the difference between spirit and matter, and they are not using it properly, then they're just buying a ticket to the next body, which is not going to be a human body. Okay, another doom and gloom presentation, as my wife likes to call it. So let's hope that this life, as difficult as it is to practice self-realization, is somehow or other we have a resolute intelligence and not listen to our material senses and material mind and intelligence. We should just dedicate ourselves to chanting the holy name and realize that Krishna is non-different, and that's it. That's all we need. We just need the holy name. Kali Yuga is such a nice thing in that sense. Instead of practicing long austerities, meditation for months, years, tens of thousands of years, we just have to chant Hare Krishna. Even in our dreams, we could not come up with a more simple solution that Lord Chaitanya came with. Chanting the holy name. Krishna appears as his holy name. He's non different. We just have to, and is the powerful spiritual comet or Ajax, whatever, Bon Ami, whatever brand you use to scrub your bathtub. That's our spiritual Ajax, the holy name that will get rid of all these layers of dirt and misunderstanding. Lust, anger, greed, all that, it will go. You may need help in other terrains, but mainly one has to chant Hare Krishna. We were very happy to see here in Gitanagari last night that people were buying beads and bead bags. And that we had some frame Maha mantras on the store, and they're all gone. People are taking up the chanting. I don't know if they know much about it, but they're taking shelter of it. And we did a kirtan around a bonfire, and everybody was participating, people who had no idea. So there is hope. There is hope for everybody. Okay. Let's see. I ended on a message of hope. So that's better than last time. Any questions or comments before we go? We have to tend to the guests, many guests that are here for the retreat, about 120 plus 20 other people. Anything? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I would just like to say thank you for your class. I really appreciating the opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and the lessons that I'm getting from this class relating to my life. Just recently I can hear Krishna just giving messages just from what I'm experiencing yesterday and what's in the class today. Your discourse on intelligence and kind of explaining what resolute means were both very perfectly instructive to me. So I'm just grateful that the Srimad Bhagavatam class is, nicely going on and always continuing. So thank you.
Well, thank you. As people like you, that makes us excited about speaking philosophy at 7 a.m. So if there is nothing else, of course, my intelligence is asking for praise. Please give me something. But no thanks.
I think we have a comment and a question in the chat.
Okay, let's look. Devaki Priti, thank you for the class and for the important reminders. I appreciate what you were saying, especially about intelligence. Any suggestions for dealing with the mind and intelligence in a proper way? Well, again, we do have a system of parampara. Even in your own family, someone is smarter. I mean, not all the time and not about everything, but you may find people who actually you admire. So take shelter of them. This is all about connections. This is all about relationships. This is all about taking good advice from good people. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is very important that you don't become a child again. I'll do it myself. I don't want to hear anybody's advice until I figure it out myself. I should do it myself. No, take advice. Get good association. And this is so crucial because when you see good devotees, you want to become like them. So try to associate with them. For one, I'm not shy. So how do you think I got to meet all these incredible speakers that we've been having? I just barged into their lives and I just said, hey, please help. I would like to hear from you. What's the price? What do I have to do? So I just try to make friendship, because there are different levels. Of course, you can associate with people you're on your level, though, out of humility, you will think you're below everybody else. But no, there are people actually on your level. So you befriend them. And with friends, you can open up. And this is important, that we don't hide behind our mind and intelligence, that nobody's experiencing what am I experiencing. And nobody knows what I know. And nobody knows how fallen I am. Yeah, actually, there's a host of 90 million demigods. I know that, plus Krishna, plus everybody else. So don't think you're by yourself. So try to reveal yourself. Reveal yourself, meaning, you tell things that are difficult to tell to someone who's a friend of yours. Of course, you have a sister. I don't know if you guys get along as well as you look when you come together to the temple. But if you do, that's a good opportunity for exchanges, and find other people that are more advanced so you can render some service, even some insignificant thing, just anything. And they will be eager to give you whatever Krishna consciousness they have, because that's the thing with Krishna consciousness. The more you give, the more you get. So it's not like, I have very great realizations, but you won't hear about them. No, this is, you have to share what you have, and then you get more. This is a great process, completely opposite the material vision, where if you have a cake and you give a part of your cake, guess what? You get less cake. And if you give it all out, then you have no cake at all. And in Krishna consciousness, the cake expands. When you give the cake out, you get more. And you don't even want it. You just want to give it. So this is the best way to deal with the mind and intelligence. You actually open up to someone who can help you out. Because as far as ourselves, we can go to a certain point and then bounce back. Just like I was speaking about Plato and Socrates, their mind, their intelligence took them so far, but because they didn't get any help, they had to just bounce back. They couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't transcend. So with the help of devotees that are advanced, you can actually make so much advancement, much more than by yourself, much more, by leaps and bounds. So please find association, take it, find friendship, take it, but don't hesitate for a moment. Don't be shy, don't recoil and think, I have it. I don't need anybody. We always need to share Krishna consciousness with someone and share our struggle to achieve Krishna consciousness with someone. Did that help you, Devaki?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for talking about this topic. It's an issue that I find very difficult, and cultivating deep relationships, especially being out in the country and not having access to the amount of people that that I had at one point living in a city, just the sheer numbers of people. But it's not about numbers, it is more about quality, But thank you for bringing up that topic matter. It's very important and something that I would like to cultivate more. It is very nice that you have been able to bring so many wonderful speakers to this forum that you've created. And it's really nice hearing from all those different perspectives, because we need those perspectives to keep us enthused and enlivened in this knowledge, to get this knowledge from different directions and what have you.
Even if you don't agree, it's nice to hear from them.
Yeah, very much so. So I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate our little classes that we have here in regards to talking about Krishna and his pastimes, because and about how we can deal with our minds and how we can begin to work at this process, actually incorporating it, on a day-to-day basis. So I want to thank you for your service in doing this and bringing this to the devotees.
It's the only thing that keeps me off the streets, bro. It's actually nice because you finally, if you hear about Krishna's pastimes and devotees' pastimes, then you stop thinking about your own pastimes, which are regrettable. So this is how we get out of this our I, me, mine, all my mentality that everything is meant for me and everything is meant for my enjoyment and everybody's to serve me. All this, it creeps in, whether it's subtle or gross, it creeps in. So when you hear, wow, this, I mean, I never thought of that, or this person has some serious realizations. So my little realizations are very insignificant. So to realize that we're not alone, first of all, that everybody's in the same path and people are on different levels of struggle, we can call it, and different levels of enjoyment. But it's all there. It's all there. It's available to everybody. You just have to make a move in this direction, that direction. So this perspective, as you call it, it gives you a more definite shape of the things to come, and how you can maneuver yourself, not in a tricky way, but in a safe way, in a sane way. How could you make advancement? And when you hear devotees like Akandadi or anybody who Amarendra, anybody who spoke to us, you can see that actually there is so much more that I don't know, and I will never be able to gather. So I'm very grateful to these devotees. Every devotee has some kind of skill. Everybody can actually give you some part of Krishna consciousness that you are missing. So except for me, but everybody else can. So that's how we should think that, I like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of the most exalted devotees ever to take birth on this planet. He said that he didn't know anything, but he was struggling. What's the hope for people like us? He, in his letters, he will end a letter to a disciple or a well-wisher saying, but how could I advise you? I'm just a conditioned soul. How could I give you anything? And he was mortified to have to chastise his disciples. He said, I have a terrible job. I wish I was free from this, because he didn't want to criticize anybody. He was doing as a job. Whereas we would love to have that job. We would love that someone actually would pay us for criticizing others. Who will worship us for criticizing others. But we are not qualified. That shows. So that's the goal, to achieve pure devotion, where you have nothing but love for Krishna and love for everybody else. Everything else will be insignificant. What does it matter? Why does it matter? All we need is to learn how to love Krishna and love what Krishna loves, which is the devotees. Krishna loves the devotees more than he loves himself. That is inexplicable. It doesn't fit into our tiny minds. Krishna will do anything for the devotees. And concurrently, we should do anything for Krishna. That should be our life. It should be natural, but somehow or other, we got conditioned. It's like having a stroke. We got a spiritual stroke. And now we're learning something that we took for granted before. Like, if you have a stroke, may have to learn how to speak, may have to learn how to walk. It may take a lot of pain. So that's the process that we're going through right now. We had a spiritual stroke, and now we are learning how to love Krishna, which should be a given, but it isn't at this point. So do not feel desperation, because it's coming. There is light at the end of the tunnel. As the devotees are there, the holy name is there, Krishna is everywhere, and he's helping us. As soon as you try to increase your hankering, your desire, then Krishna will be there. He's there, just waiting for that. Thank you, Prabhu. You want to add something else?
No, I was just I'm just reflecting on some of the things you were saying, but yeah, I think we do have to open ourselves up more for relationships and deeper relationships so that we can really share ourselves more. And that means even sometimes asking, I sometimes think, there's questions that I want to ask when there are big speakers, and I don't, and I need to come out of, for me, I need to come out of that shell, and I need to go on and just open myself up for those dialogues, more so, because realizing that we don't have an opportunity always to have that particular association. So it's really important to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, you have your work carved out for yourself. Yeah, just try to do it. Don't wait. It may be too late. So yes, just if you know what you need, just go ahead and do it. There's no one stopping you except for yourself. And this is the mind and the intelligence that are giving bad advice, to make you hesitate when you shouldn't. What will be? It's like when I was distributing books. So what's the worst that could happen? Well, I can tell you a few, but what's the worst thing that could happen? People will tell you, no, thanks. How? You see, and apparently it's harmless, but no, because we have a big false ego there. And if someone tells you no thanks, means they have rejected you, so you're not worthy. It's a complete concoction. This is not really true. It's just simply they are not at that point in their spiritual life that they want to take a book from you, but it's not your fault. You're trying your best. So you're not the doer. You're not supposed to enjoy the result of your actions or suffer the result. It's not up to you. It's up to Krishna. So we have to just get rid of this victim mentality. This person did this to me, or they rejected me. I think I was saying recently that there's no pain comparable to that of getting one's heart broken. And we just think that everybody's breaking our heart because nobody gets us. But you know what? We broke Krishna's heart. We are just receiving barely a few pieces of what we did to him. So it's time to, get back and to sanity and try to regain the only thing that is worth it, which is love of God. All right, Prabhus, we're going to run to Guru Puja. If there are any pressing questions or comments, this is the time. Or forever hold your peace, at least until tomorrow. Anything else? Thank you, devotees. Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much to all of you. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Jai.